Hey everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. The energy that we're starting off with is looking like there's something that's kind of coming up from within you, but that it's still partially being contained here. So this can be, something energetically that's rising up within you. It can be a vision, it can be a sentiment, it can be an instinct, it can be a motivation. Whatever this is, it feels like something important, that this is something that you've begun to embody, but having the Eight of Swords next to it feels like this thing is very obviously going on within you, but it may not be externalized yet. So it can be something where, like, when you reflect and you tune in internally, you can feel this thing that's going on and it feels very potent and it feels very clear. But as far as doing something externally with this, it feels like that part has not happened. And you can still be kind of standing there within the energy, not doing anything on this. It feels like things are ready to go and that this could happen now, but you can maybe just be procrastinating a little bit with this. Because I see everything looking like it's ready to happen, but it feels like you are stopping this from coming out. Okay. Something pretty big is connected with this, so this feels very understandable. I see your guide coaching you through the entirety of this process, but all you can really do is go off of, it's kind of like if somebody's coaching you through something, you can be hearing the voice that's coaching you through, but it can't take the steps for you. You have to be the one to take the steps. So I'm getting something like that. Like, I'm seeing your team be really strong here, calling you through and like telling you where to go, but they can't take those steps for you. So there's something about that coming up here, because I get like something kind of difficult that you have to do, and it can be something where you're like, you know, if I do that, I'm gonna have to face this stuff, and I don't know if I'm ready to face it. You can kind of know it's like the only way to go. Like, you're going through the gauntlet a little bit right here. And so there's like no other where to go. There's no other place to go. It's like one path only. And so you know that if you're going to move forward, this is just stuff that you have to face. But I see you kind of like hanging around a little bit. It feels like being in hermit mode a little bit, but like not really. I don't know if we can even call it that. You can be trying to like time out and like pull yourself off of the field a little bit rather than just going through with this. And it can be something where you know that when things resume, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know the play, you know the direction, you know the path, you know all of that. And I think there's this part of you that just is like waiting still and kind of holding back. I'm seeing Aquarius and I'm seeing Taurus here. The word flashy is coming through. I see something that's all been coordinated. It just hasn't been. It's like waiting for your participation here with this. Because this Two of Swords doesn't feel like I don't know. It feels like I'm not doing anything. It feels like I do know, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing here. This can be, too, a time when your guides have given you the directions and you're like, well, I don't understand how it all makes sense. And your guides are like, well, do you trust us? We just need you to move through and do this. You know that it's the right way to go. But there can be stuff about like the larger plan that's at play here. And maybe like having some doubts with this. I see 3 different worlds that are linked to one another and coming together. And I guess this can be like different planes or it can be different planets. That's like kind of the way that this is coming through. But I'm seeing everything be linked together with one. And I'm seeing 3 of them together here. It's like the trinity of something. This even feels like everybody kind of put the puzzle pieces where they need to go, but you can still be holding yours back a little bit and not putting it into place. It's like you have this like 3-pronged thing or like 3 different places, and like I'm seeing one of the pieces go in and that's set into place, another piece, and we're just like waiting on you to kind of like put your piece here where it's supposed to go within this. But things can't really move forward until that happens. Because I'm seeing something about coordination. I'm also getting something about the astrology and something about like using maybe stars as like timing or a sense of direction here with things. That can also be something that's going on in the background if this is not being done deliberately. I see a rising star here that's connected with this. This could also be too like, yeah, I get this sense of like knowing the plan, but this isn't, the play button wasn't pushed in the way that it needs to be. Like it's not really full throttle yet, but it feels like everything's on place. Like there's just this waiting for it to happen now. So maybe there's also something that you're going through right now where you feel like the environment is kind of just waiting for you, like waiting on you, what you're going to do with this. And are you going to press the play button here, or are you just going to stand there? I guess some like planetary alignment that's connected with this. Like something within the astrology that's like very specific and particular right now that has to do like with everything going on here. I'm seeing a night owl. Yeah, I guess something where it's like you just got to do this, but you may not really want to, but you can feel like you have to. And if you don't, that you're ignoring your intuition here. It's kind of like you put the coin in the gumball machine and it spits something out at you and you're like, I don't want this, I want a different one. And it's like, that's the only one that you're gonna get here with this. So you just gotta make do with what it is that it gave you. But I see like trying to go back to it and be like, please give me something else. And it feels like as it relates to this situation that you're in, where you can like know what you need to do, but you can really be shying away from it big time here, because it does feel like something has to come to an end. Like it's time for something to close out now. And you can know that to be true, but you can just like not be doing it. I see a big refusal within the energy here. It can be something where you're like, I don't want this part of things to be over, even though it's time for the next segment of things to begin. It's like you keep rewinding the episode again and again. It's like, aren't you tired? We watched it so many times. Like, don't you want to see what happens next? And I'm just seeing it be like, no, I just want to rewind it again. But it feels like only doing it because you know what's up ahead in the next episode, and you can be like, I don't want to have to see what's going to happen. But it feels like there's nowhere else to go. You know, like the show only moves forward. we can rewind and we can watch it again, but as far as like the plot, nothing's going to change. It's just going to be a repeat. You got to go forward through this part. And I'm seeing your guides be like, come on, come on, come on, let's move all the way through. But I'm just seeing it be like, no. Almost like if I close my eyes and I put my hands over my face here and don't make eye contact with you, can we pretend that you don't see me here? But there can be like an internal pressure that you're feeling that this is something that needs to be done now. I just get something overall that you can really not want to deal with. Something else that I'm seeing too with this is that it looks like you're supposed to be facing the energy and do the thing that needs to be done here, but then you kind of like turn around and run in the opposite direction, but whatever's coming towards you is like still coming. It didn't like stop just because you stopped and turned around. See how this is? Like before, if you're going the right way, you would be facing this energy, but this feels like running away from the problem or whatever this is that needs to be faced. But now it's like coming into your territory. So this feels like this, you're not going to be able to outrun this. It's like happening now. I'm seeing somebody get like pushed really hard on the swing here. Like there was something that went on that seems like an accelerant within the energy. It's, yeah, you know what this feels like to me? That whatever this is that started, it can't really be stopped anymore. And so even if you don't do your part, everything's still going to happen. Like this whole situation, it's not going to stop just because you're not doing what you need to be doing within the energy. It feels like it's going to happen regardless. Like having that Eight of Swords, having this Knight of Swords here feels like even if you stand here and you don't do anything and you're kind of tucked away, like something is coming towards you. So it doesn't matter. It's like this energy will come all the way towards you then. When really you could have come out here and like met the energy where you needed to, but the way that this seems is that it's like gonna come to you regardless, like coming and like knocking on your door here. I see something that just needs to be done, and then once it's done, it's kind of like over and done with, and then you come out on the other side of the gauntlet here and you look at everything and you're like, wow, it all makes sense, but I wasn't seeing that before. It's just like having to do the hard thing, but you know that it's the right thing to do. And it's not that you don't know what to do. It's not that you don't know what decision to make here. You do. It just feels like putting it off because of like not wanting to have to do it overall. I'm seeing some strong earth energy here within the reading. Yeah, it's like all we need is your participation, but then like withholding the energy because of not wanting to have to do this. It's like you're in a play. You and two other people, you're in a play with each other. and they get on stage and they're running their lines, and then the next person gets on stage and they're running their lines, and then it's time for you to get on stage and you're like, I'm not going up there. I see something like that. And I don't, there's something that has to be done when you go up on stage where it's like you already know your lines, you already know what you need to do, but I'm just seeing like a refusal to get up on stage and do what needs to be done. The funny thing about this is that with the Star and the King of Pentacles, you're kind of the star of the show here. And I feel also too like you're very, like it would be no sweat for you to go up there and do your thing. I just think that this is one of those times when it's like it's the more difficult thing to do, even though you know everything that you need to be doing. The way that your energy is coming through is like this is expected of you, that you would go up on stage and run lines, and it feels almost like a little bit out of character that you'd be shying away from this. But I get maybe something like messed up with your perspective a little bit here. Like maybe you lost perspective. But as far as the way that your energy is coming through, it's one where you're being seen as being like, I think overly capable, more than capable to handle a type of situation like this. So I think from the outside looking in, it's like surprising that this is something that you would not just be moving through. So yeah, when it's like up on stage, not saying your line, and this other person, one of the other people that you're working with, I'm seeing them have to like shove you a little bit and like remind you of your line going through this. But then still kind of like not acknowledging it for some reason. I think that all of this comes from maybe feeling resistant to the storyline that's playing out. Maybe you're like, I don't want to go up there and I don't want to act that out, but it's like the only script given. There's nothing else to really do. So it's either like shut down completely or you run your lines here, but there are no other lines to be doing, because that's just what this situation has added up to. It feels like there aren't any alternate routes for this situation. Like this is the one and only way. Like this is all that's going on in this episode, and there's no other storyline to tap into here, but it can just be one where you're like, I don't want to have to do it. But it's also one of those times where you just go through with it, and then it's like in the past and it's over and it's done with, and now you're like, I feel like I can finally breathe again. You get to take your corset off here. And you're like, wow, I feel so much more comfortable now. But I think before that point, you're like kind of losing your breath a little bit, forgetting what it's all about. But eventually when you get to the other side of this, I'm seeing your guides be like, what happened to you? And you're like, I don't know. It feels like one of those weird times where like maybe something's going on that's messing with you a little bit, maybe emotionally, maybe psychologically, something happening that when you get to the other side, you're like, I don't know what my problem was back there, but I see something that feels kind of daunting for you to have to face. But again, it's like you're so well trained for this. Everybody's like surprised that you're not just moving through it. Maybe another way that this is, like another way to describe why the resistance is happening within the energy can be like when you know that something is going to happen in the episode. It's like something's going to happen to your favorite character and you're like, I already know what's going to happen. I don't want to have to watch it myself. It can be like one of those times, but then it's like you want to stop the story here. Like this is where you want to stop it. Don't you want to see the rest of what's going to end up happening? And isn't that also just your role in the way that life is too? Like, this feels like you know that this is how things work. I just think that you got really caught up in whatever this is, and you can be like forgetting the bigger picture here, because you felt like this at other times too, and you've moved through it, and then be like, oh, of course I had to move through it. There's nowhere else to go, really. Like, my whole life isn't gonna stop here. And I think you're at one of those points where we forget a little bit. But then when you come out on the other side, you're gonna be like, knowing that this is just a smaller piece of the larger picture here of what's unfolding, and that is just one episode that you need to get through. But it's one of those episodes where I definitely see it like something's happening, and you can be like, I don't want to have to play that out myself. But then when you come out on the other side of it, you're going to get to a new episode that you like, and then things are going to shift around, and then you're going to be like, wow, I'm enjoying this so much. I can't imagine not experiencing this. But if you stop here, you're not going to. So maybe having perspective as you're moving through this is really important. I get it, like one of those situations where you're like in on how all of this works, but it feels like you forgot for some reason. And then you'll come out on the other side and be like, what was I doing? And then yeah, like maybe something that's going on with you is feeling kind of surprising to you, the way that you're sort of like reacting to this episode and resisting the storyline. I guess something about, when you're having a good time, something's going on and you don't really want it to end, and so you get that sinking feeling. It feels like one of those, but that's not going to make stuff not end. Having that feeling. But maybe this is all just about that coming to terms that's happening here too with all of this. I think as well that this is going to spit you out into a different storyline that you're going to feel like really excited to explore, and that's kind of going to be your next project that you're going to be working on. But as far as letting go of this, which it feels like you just have to say that final line and then we can move through, just feels like still holding on and being like, no, if I don't say it, it doesn't have to be over a little bit here, even though like it's like they're starting to shut the lights down, the crowd is moving out of the auditorium. It's this whole thing that's happening here, where you just got to say the final line and like let that be that. But I think that this can feel like really melancholy and like bittersweet even is a feeling that you can get from this, because you're like, I've invested so much, I've been working on this for so long. And then there will be the next thing, because there's always a next thing. So I think like keeping that in mind, I'm telling you, like you're gonna get through the gauntlet of this, and you're gonna take the corset off, and you're gonna be like, oh, finally I can breathe again. And then you're gonna see like all the other different outfits that you can wear, and you'll be like, wow, I want to explore this and I want to explore that. Like, I can't believe I was ready to just like stay in this outfit the entire time. It's gonna be one of those times. And as I have said for like 3 times already, I get something where it's like, you're the actor, you're used to doing this. So it seems even surprising that you get so stuck on this bit that you've been like role playing within, because it seems like you already know that this is how things work, and that it's not just about one thing that's being played out, but it's about exploring kind of endlessly. And to get stuck on something where the sun is going down on it already, it feels kind of like you'll come out on the other side and be like, yeah, I got really caught up in that. But then you'll have your wits about you again, and you'll kind of remember who you are, and it will seem so different from that perspective. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.